Hey there folks, my name is Luke. Welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. My name is Luke. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now, it is backpacking season, everyone. It is time to get out, it's time to go explore, and it's time to pull out the old tent from storage. If a number of months have passed since you pulled out your tent and set it up, now's the time to do it before you head out on your next adventure, or you could be sorry. This episode is all about tents, what you need to do before you head out on the trail. Folks, come with me, let's set this up. Before you head out on your next adventure, make sure to grab your tent out of storage and pull out all of the contents. You want to carefully inspect each of the components to make sure that they are in good shape. Now, by pulling out the components and separating them, you are ensuring that all the components are in fact there. You are also making sure that the condition of those components is good enough for the trail. Most tents will have poles, stakes, guy lines, a fly, and the body. Now, what I recommend is that you set up each component of this tent, starting with the body, and as you go through the steps of setting it up, you check all the components. So, let's start with the body now. As you lay the body out upon the ground, make sure to pay attention to the mesh, make sure there's no holes, make sure to pay attention to the floor, again, that there's no holes. What you are looking for here are defects, are issues, problems, things that can hinder you or cause problems on your trip. Typically, I do a quick once over, then I move to the poles, get it all erected, and then look again. That looks good. Let's move on to the poles. Now with the poles, you want to make sure that there are no cracks, no issues like that. You want to make sure that they're in good enough shape to withstand the duration of your trip. If your tent has fiberglass poles, these are aluminum, definitely make sure to pay attention. Fiberglass is very, very weak, and if you're beginning to get a crack in it, you will have a problem. Do not go out with those. As I'm putting the poles together here, I am looking at the ends, making sure that there are no cracks. Everything looks good. All right, with that being the case, let's go ahead and insert the poles now. Now that you have the poles inserted, your tent may be freestanding. That means that you could actually check out the mesh now and the floor as well. This one has to be staked out first. If your tent is erect, you can do either one of these. You could check out the stakes or you could check out the mesh again and the floor. I am going to check out the stakes. I am looking for broken stakes. I'm looking for cracks. I'm looking for bends. Now that your tent is fully set up, make sure that all the zippers are in working order. All right, everything's good there. The easiest way to check your mesh and the floor is to get inside of your tent and look around without your sunglasses. First, I'm going to go all the way to the end. I'm going to check the bathtub floor. If you see any holes, if you see any sunlight coming through, you need to repair that. Now I'm checking the floor, looking for holes, looking for rips, punctures, tears. All right, those areas look good. Now it's time to check out the mesh. You definitely do not want creepy crawlies getting inside of your tent at nighttime. Now, before you're done with the body and you move on to the fly, there's something I want you to focus on. Most tents have taped seams on the floor of the tent and on the fly as well. Make sure to pay special attention to those. As the years pass with your favorite tent, those tape seams will fail you eventually. So make sure to check those out on the body and on the fly as well. Speaking of which, let's move to the fly. The easiest way of going about to check the fly is to drape it over the body. Loosely throw it over the body. It doesn't have to be perfect. Make sure to go around the perimeter, look at the tie-off points, look for holes, look for punctures. Make sure everything is in the proper order. Make sure that the zipper is operational. Perfect. Once you have that done, turn the fly inside out. So now that you have the fly inside out, pay attention to those seams. Look at those taped seams. Make sure that they are in good condition. Make sure they're not starting to come apart, because if they are, you need to repair that because your tent will leak. In this case here, I've gone over the tent inside and out and it's ready for the trail. Anytime that you guys are doing this, you need to make sure to check every single layer, every single component, every single zipper, the mesh, and so on to ensure that you have a safe night out on your adventure. Another benefit of doing this is that you are familiarizing yourself with how to set up your tent, which is going to help you out a ton, especially if you get to your campsite late at night or if a storm is coming in and you're in a hurry. While going through this process, make sure to do all the repairs that are necessary, fix all the holes, and so on, and you guys will have a great time out. If your tent is getting old and you haven't used it in some time, you can take it outside, set it up, and then take the water hose and spray over the top of it to make sure that there are no leaks. As the tent gets older and the seams age, water has a way of making its way in, so be prepared to seam seal your tent and to treat the material. If your tent is old and you don't want to waste the water, or maybe you can't waste the water, just go ahead and seam seal it and treat it anyways. It's better to be on the safe side than to have an issue. Most tents come with a repair kit, so you can fix holes and you can fix poles. Make sure that you have at least something inside of your kit to patch holes with. Most of the time I skimp out on the pole repair kits, but I always have something with me to patch a hole, just in case. So guys and gals, that's pretty much it. Before you head out on your next adventure, make sure to get your tent out, set it up, familiarize yourself with it, make sure there are no issues. Trust me, it's well worth the time spent. If you have any questions, email me. Until next time, strength and honor. See you guys around.